Hello everyone, it's Joe here from Draft FPL. Welcome back to a weekly series helping you find some good value free agents and waiver pickups in Draft FPL. Okay, today we're looking at game week 9. It's a quick turnaround this week. Monday night football finisher followed by the Friday night deadline. So it's been a mad rush today to get all this sorted. But we're here with the waiver picks. Don't forget to set your waiver requests for the 6 PM waiver deadline tomorrow. Let's get stuck into the picks. First up, it's my old faithful Ethan Pinnock. I picked him a couple of weeks ago when I spoke about the Brentford prolonged good run of fixtures. He did return that game week with a goal, so that's happy days. Hopefully there's some clean sheets coming though, and I will say Brentford have got this great long run of fixtures that is really, really strong. But this block, these next 4, is probably the best chunk in it. Ipswich at home, Fulham away, Bournemouth at home, Everton away. 4 fantastic fixtures in a row. And I think picking up a defender, midfielder, anyone you can get your hands on for this run is definitely a good idea. Ethan Pinnock's my favourite as always, mainly because of the guaranteed minute. What am I trying to say? Mainly because of the guaranteed minutes. He also does have attacking threat, as we have seen recently with a couple of goals. So definitely the one to go for if he's free. If you can't get your hands on him, I would then go for Vanden Berg. Collins is a good option as well, but he's actually pretty highly owned, I guess, because of his haul a few weeks ago. Vanden Berg available in 97% of draft leagues. I'm pretty sure he's going to keep his place. I don't see any reason why not. He's one of the most talented defenders at the club, probably, to be honest. So I definitely think he's a decent option to go for as well. If you can't get your hands on Pinnock or Collins, he's probably the next best bet. Elsewhere, I'm looking at Alex Moreno, available in 69% of leagues for Forest. The next 2 fixtures, Leicester away, West Ham at home, look really good to me. The Forest defence statistically has been really good. They've also kept a few clean sheets to kind of back up that good underlying data, which is what we like to see. I think I'd be surprised if any of the sort of back 4, as long as they stay injury free and consistent, get consistent minutes and keep the way they're going, the likes of Aina, Murillo, Milenkovic and Moreno, I think all 4 of them will be pretty much gone from waivers by the time we get around to about Christmas. The way they're going, I think they're going to be racking up the clean sheets, and I think now's a good time to get Moreno. These next 2 fixtures, good chance for both of them. Leicester away, West Ham at home, as I've said. After that, it's a little bit ropier, but to be honest, I'd be happy to hold him through the bad fixtures just to make sure I keep him for the good ones coming up. He does have some attacking threat, especially Leicester, quite susceptible to conceding chances on both wings. So I wouldn't be surprised if the fullbacks do have a little bit of joy this week specifically. But yeah, I just think he's a really solid short and long-term hold. Next up, 1 week punt, Van Heck of Brighton, available in 69% of leagues. Whilst he's been injured, Brighton's defence has gone off a cliff, but he is back now. Played a few minutes last week while he's back in, but I suspect he'll be back in the starting lineup for Wolves. I'd be very surprised if he isn't, because he is by far the best defender at the club at the moment. So for this game week, Brighton look one of the most likely teams to keep a clean sheet in the top 3 certainly. So I think picking up one of their defenders seems like a good idea to me. We like clean sheets. So that's game week 9. 10 and 11's absolutely horrendous. Liverpool away, City at home, and then it's Bournemouth away, which is kind of tough from a defensive point of view anyway. So I'd definitely be dropping after this game week. He's not particularly in high demand, so makes sense for me for a 1 week punt if you're short of a defender. On to mids, and we'll stick with Brighton. Looking at this game week, Georgino available in 54% of leagues. Bit of an injury crisis going on. Welbeck's not out for as long as first feared, but he is going to miss a few games, is kind of the sort of early news. Obviously, I'm pre-press conferences today, so we will get more information on that. But it looks like Welbeck's going to be out for a few weeks at least, potentially a little bit more. So with João Pedro also injured and not expected to come back this week, I think it's going to be Georgino playing the number 10 and a certain someone playing up front who I'll speak about later. But for this week, I think Georgino is actually a good pick. Wolves have struggled defensively. They have had very, very difficult fixtures, but even against Brentford conceding 5 goes to show that they definitely can be got at, and Georgino is definitely one option to go for. Another one is Yakuba Minter, available in 63% of leagues. He is yellow flagged on FPL at the moment because he's got a knock. The talk is that he's going to be fine, but again, wait for the press conference news just to double check that that is the case. If so, I think he's a really, really good pick for this week. I think if he was just a tiny little bit more decisive in his final decision making, he could have had a decent amount of points already, so I'm going to gamble on him this week. Next up, we've got Kevin Sharda, available in 95% of leagues. Wissa was reported as being back now, but whether he's fit enough to start this week, we're not 100% sure. He definitely will see some minutes. I don't think that impacts Sharda too much. I think he'll definitely start either on the left or through the middle. And I've already spoken about these fixtures for Brentford, but this game week specifically, Ipswich at home, the worst defence second worst defence in the league, I think, behind Southampton. So picking up attacker playing that team looks just like an absolute no-brainer. Whether he's playing on the left or through the middle, I think he might actually be better on the left, to be honest. I think whilst he's playing through the middle, he actually drifts in and out of games a little bit more, and I don't think it really suits him. I think he's better on the left where he's got more space to run into. So if Wissa is back, that could actually be a bonus for Sharda. And if he plays well, he should keep his place for this excellent run of fixtures. Finally, rounding off the midfielders, Leon Bailey, available in 41% of leagues. He is back fit now, played an hour in midweek against Bologna. It is a Tuesday-Saturday roll-around. So, roll-around? Where have I that from? It's a Tuesday to Saturday break, so I would expect him to be okay to start this weekend. Bournemouth at home. And then the next midweek for Villa is the League Cup, so I suspect he'll get a break in that one. So I'm not too concerned about him being rotated. Obviously, there is a chance if he's picked up a niggle that we don't know about, but I think he's more than likely to start behind Ollie Watkins alongside Rodgers and McGinn or Ramsey. So looks like a good option to me. Bournemouth at home is a good fixture. After that, we'll see. Tottenham away, Liverpool away is tough, 10 and 11, but Tottenham's defence has not been good whatsoever, and Liverpool away is difficult, but you might be able to just hide him for that week. Depending on how well he does and how involved he is and what his minutes look like, I think he could be a really decent pick. Finally then, on to forwards, and I kind of hinted at it earlier, but I don't really see any other options other than Evan Ferguson starting up front for Brighton this week, available in 70% of leagues. I'm surprised he's picked already in 30% of leagues. I know he did get a decent amount of minutes last week against Newcastle, but I was quite surprised it was that high. I thought he would be like 90% available at least, considering he's done absolutely nothing so far this season. But if he's playing up front for Brighton, quite an attacking side against a weak defence, seems like a really good pickup to me, even if it is just for the 1 week. But I suspect, it's hard to tell with the forwards, when to drop and when to keep, because obviously, unless he plays really, really well over the next few games, he is kind of a ticking time bomb when João Pedro and Danny Welbeck are back fit. And the fixtures are terrible after game week 9. So I think he's a fantastic pick for this week, and then we can see how he performs, and he might just be someone you get rid of straight away if we get more news about the other boys, or if he doesn't perform that well and the fixtures are terrible. But I think for this week, he's definitely worth a gamble, worth a punt. If you're sat on a third striker that's terrible, as many people are, I think he's worth it. Okay, that wraps up my picks for Game Week 9. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Check out the Patreon in the link down below. Plenty of extra content available if you are obsessed with Draft FPL, as many of us are. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.